Yes,
in
we
Kazi.
are. We are loading into our first game, so we're getting right into this already. Um, I don't know. I'm stoked. TVZ to start off, we're gonna be starting on Vonnie Research Station as well, so it's a fun map for a ZVT, and I'm really surprised that Woogie didn't actually veto this map. So I have to see what he has planned for this because I don't know. It's a pretty easy map for a Zerg player just to just go insane on creep, and I know Stark's really good with his creep,
Mm.
and once that happens, there's really no getting across the map and attacking. So let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm just excited for map 3. That's what I want. Map 3 Secret
Yeah,
Spring.
I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I can't believe
maybe
that got
good.
through. It was
So
brilliant.
I
Like,
think didn't most of the series on Friday go to 3 games even? So
quite a few did. The Game 3 and Expedition lost, but like all the series on Friday were like Overgrowth, Catalina, and then either Expedition lost or Deadwing. Like zero new maps,
of
really.
course.
It's like we didn't see Varney, we didn't see Inferno or Secret Spring, but
All right.
we
Well,
have
we
it
are
now.
in our first game, so go ahead and introduce our players. Starting in the top of Vonnie Research Station in yellow from All Inspiration, it is our Zerg player. It is Stark.
And in the bottom right, also from All Inspiration, it is the Blue Terran player Woogie. Ah, Stark was telling me when I was casting with him that he hasn't been feeling too good lately. He's not sure how much he hasn't practiced as much as he normally has. Having said that, though, he's still probably played more StarCraft in the last week than either of us have.
Yeah, he's
So,
uh he's pretty insane with his activity on StarCraft. But he was sick for a few days during the week. I know that. I assume he got over most of that for the cast on Friday, but he may still be feeling a little under the weather. And whenever that happens, and you're not able to play as much as you'd like to. It's never an enjoyable experience going into, especially something like this that you want to be preparing for. You want to be preparing specifically for your opponents. So if he wasn't able to do as much prep as he wanted to, then he's probably going to be maybe a little uncomfortable going into these series. But he's a very good player, so I expect it to be at least decently okay.
yeah, starting with a pull first as well on Varney. Interesting. I would have expected a hatch first out of him on this map. Nice and safe though.
It's really kind of surprising to see start going for Impool first, but he may be expecting possibly something aggressive coming from Woogie, and we don't have any gas right now from our Terran player, which it's a decent map for a Reaper, and it is kind of nice to be able to get across the map and scout out quickly, given how large the map is, and to counter this issue of not having Reaper, Woogie is sitting on an SCV, so he will be able to scout with that, but it's still gonna be a little while. But going for this first Marine, he may be able to catch Stark a little unaware, maybe catch his first Overlord, but given the pathing on this Overlord, going straight for the natural, he should be able to get out of there with relative ease, unless he decides to try and dive into the main base, in which case he could lose that first Overlord, but don't really expect that to be the case, as we do see two gases actually coming down from Woogie. So despite opening gasless into his expansion, he's going up to gas as soon as he possibly can.
Yeah. When this map first came out, like a lot of Terrans were doing this one rack expand, trying to catch that first Overlord. It's really hard to get your Overlords across the map without them being sniped off. Um, it's not the most amount of really good hidden spots. So yeah, a lot of Terrans were opening this and just sending their first two Marines out, trying to hunt Overlords. Starker's got it to the back of the base nice and safely though, which is good. Marines being very inactive at the moment, which is nice. Stark still staying gasless though, getting his queens up, getting that creep spread starting probably in a second now. Drops his first tumor.
I'm intrigued to see what Woogie's going to be doing with all of his gas. He's got these double gases already rolling. What's this? He's got a reactor coming down on his barracks as well. He got his first 3 Marines and the factory on the way. And with the natural base finished as well, he's going to have a decent amount of a mineral income, but a lot of gas coming as well. I'm curious if he's going to follow this up. This factory, once it finishes, they could be throwing down an armory and a starport, going for a really old school Lucifron, like 2 base Hellbat drop harassment, basically. But he could also follow us up with Banshees. I mean, the Overlord is getting in here for Stark. He didn't quite see the gas itself, but I think he probably saw a couple of SCVs returning mining gas, so he probably knows that is there. That
Yeah,
Overlord does go down, however.
I would think he did see that. He was talking about that a lot, that he doesn't need to get all the way in just to
Yeah.
see the workers. And the fact that he turned around straight away, because that Overlord was always going to die. If he didn't see the gas geyser or didn't see the miners returning, he would have kept going with it, I think. He's quite a smart player. We'll give him the credit he deserves for that, I think.
Yeah, indeed. We do have a Roach Warren coming down, 4 Stark already, and 2 gases. So, whatever it is that's coming from Woogie, Stark should be decently prepared for. He didn't go for a super quick third command center. Granted, it means he also doesn't have speed. He's not going to have speed for a while. But with enough queens and eventually some roaches out, he should be able to deal with what looks to be just a Banshee Hellion opener with a few Marines as well. So, depending on what Woogie decides to make with this Barracks, I mean, he's getting a tackle on this, but probably just to get his actual melee, or not melee, but Marine bio upgrades rolling. And just opening with this cloak, probably going to a third command center relatively soon. Unless he sees something that says, hey, I can go ahead and just all in and attack all of this.
Stark taking gas guys is 3 and 4 as well. You really only need 3 gases to go up for Roach play. Probably just wants this Roach run for a bit of safety. Gonna take a third base now. And probably look to transition into get his upgrades going. Probably into Ling Bailing, I think, as
Yeah,
well.
especially he's just going for those extra 2 gases. It
Yeah.
probably screams that he's going to be going for a lair relatively soon. He wants to get there. I mean, these first 11 roaches out, he knows that Woogie's going to be doing something. He doesn't necessarily know exactly what it is, but he wants to have these roaches out to help defend this third base. I mean, that's a lot. It's a good handful of Hellions already here, and the Queens are have to deal with the Banshees that are moving. The Banshee that is moving across the map right now, and that Banshee's going to have cloaks soon as well. So. Without a lair, which is still pretty far away, the Banshee could get a decent amount of work done unless Stark is able to throw down a couple of Spore Callers. But for the time being, he's just wanting to defend with these Queens and with the Roaches themselves.
And getting missile attacks for his upgrades as well. So he's going to look to stay into Roach Hydra, it appears. Now as well, not playing Ling Bailing style. Banshee is working away on this Queen. Does cloak as well. No spores. Just yet. A few started. It's going to get the Queen and a few drones. Really nice opening here for Woogie.
Yeah, I mean, any amount of kills you get on these Banshees early on is really, really nice. Stark, he's even forced to evacuate the natural base so he stops losing workers. So he's lost a whole lot of mining time. Behind this, Wookiee does not have a third command center just yet, so it's looking like it's maybe as soon as Stim finishes, or maybe as soon as Stim and Combat Shield both finish, and a couple medevacs are out, we can see Wookiee moving across the map and getting really hyper-aggressive and putting a lot of pressure onto this third base location, which actually has 24, 25 drones on it. So Stark opening with this Roach height, or Roach opening, I suppose. He is getting those 1-1 upgrades for it. Throwing down a Baliness now, I'm not sure if that's kind of just fear of what could be coming his way. He doesn't really necessarily know. I mean, he's sending the roaches across the map, realizing that right now it's kind of dead supply, and he wants to do something with it once 1-1 finishes, but he may actually be caught out a little bit before that actually happens.
There are a lot of Widow Mines out for Woogie already. Stark's going to run into a bit of a brick wall here, I think. Should borrow those mines now. Or just completely abandon. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Hellions as well.
It's a lot of firepower here for Terran play, and he's going to catch all of these roaches. He's going to actually get the Widow Mines burrowed directly on top of them, and Stark's going to lose all of these roaches.
Wow.
So many Widow Mines, so many Widow Mines. Every single roach has gone down, and really Woogie didn't really lose much of anything. I mean, look, resources lost, almost 1,600 here for Stark, and only 800 for a Terran player. He's got Stim, he's got a couple medevacs out, and then all of these Widow Mines, 8 Widow Mines already. That's absolutely insane. He's still making them, so. Stark is going to have to be able to trade really effectively against this. I mean, he's got banding speed on the way, but he's still making nothing but roaches right now. I don't think he has Ling speed. No, he doesn't have Ling speed either, so he can't be going into Ling Bling at the moment, at least. He's going to still have to be able to contend with all of these mines and this Bioforce with just some roaches right now.
His crease spread is getting pretty unreal though. He's already starting to push down another 2 moon. He's already at the watchtower. Halfway down. Woogie is pushing up though. He's going to scan. He's going to start getting this creep under control. A lot of Widow Mines. A couple more orders thrown in here for good measure as well. He's pushing forward. Sees the lack of army. Really probably wants to engage this now.
Yeah, there's a
Especially
lot of
before
units
it's
being
Bailey's.
created right now for Stark, but they're not here yet. And there's, again, not having speed just yet. His Bailey speed is going to finish up at a pretty good time to actually help with this push, but There's so many freaking mines. There's 9 over here on this creep right now. If these are spread decently, it's going to be so difficult for Stark to actually engage this effectively. The Banshee's actually going to town here, getting some kills on roaches, and the engagement is happening. Stark is trying to roll into this best he can. Widowmine shots are going off, getting some decent connections, but Stark did split that decently well. He sent all of his
Oh,
ground melee units forward, so they took the brunt of the damage, and he still has all of these roaches left over. He's got a Spire on the way as well, so a really nice trade there for Stark. And behind this, Woogie, that third command center has just now come down, and with this army moving across the map here for our Zerg player, he probably should be able to get a cancel on this, maybe, but I guess he's just going to turn around and go and take his own fourth base right now. With 12 meters on the way, you may as well.
yeah, those mines did so much friendly fire. They killed the medivac that picked up all the units as well. And it's the disadvantage of having 9 mines in a fight. It's going to do some damage to your own units, unfortunately. Banshee coming back to kill some tumors. This Banshee's been a bit of a hero this game. Up to 10 kills. He's killed some tumors. Mutalisk should catch it now, though. Almost out of energy, which is nice.
There's an Overseer around here somewhere. There's the Overseer.
There
That
we go.
Banshee finally goes down, but it does give Woogie a little bit of a warning on these mutas coming in, so he's going to start throwing down some turrets. One turret coming up in the natural mineral line, another one coming in the main mineral line. He's going to start throwing some turrets around at the periphery of his bases as well. And he does have a decent amount of, he still has a few Widow Mines scattered about, and a lot of Marines as well, but not many turrets really. I don't think Stark's going to want to engage into that, but he's got a free pickings on these engineering bays here, and all these SCVs that are trying to repair this engineering bay are going to go down. It's going to force Woogie to stim back home, but his own Sim City is actually hurting him pretty badly right now. He can't get back to actually help this out. Stark probably isn't going to be able to kill these engineering bays, but he's still done a decent amount of damage so far. Killing another 8 workers, was that then? Or was that actually some other point?
Yes.
But
7 workers just then. Even delaying +2 attack as well on the engineering bay. Which is really nice move there from the Mutalisk. It's allowing him to get some breathing space, getting his 4th base up. Getting Gas Geyser number 7. Should be throwing down the next Gas Geyser as well. Gas Geyser 8. He's getting out of roaches now, getting +1 melee weapons as well. Creep spread has stymied a little bit, hasn't really gone anywhere for the last little bit. He's got just the really bare minimum to cover his 4 bases for the moment. He wants to push that out a little bit further, give himself some breathing room for the inevitable Terran push.
yeah, I think Stark may have heard you there. He had one queen sitting in the natural base that was a little superfluous. He wasn't actually doing anything, so he is sitting that out to go spread some creep now. And he also threw down a couple of tumors with a queen that had some extra energy in the main base as well. So he's starting to get that back and rolling forward like he needs to. Because once this gets out of hand, this army that is moving across the map for Woogie is going to be seen so quickly that Stark's going to be able to set up however he wants to help defend against this. We already seen Stark take one really nice engagement. And he's got some lings out here actually on the map just to kind of help scout out, I suppose. He's got so many freaking banelings back home right now. It is, what is that, 52 banes. He's got 8 more about to pop as well. So that is a ton. I don't think all the Widowmine shots in the world are going to help this out.
Yeah, he's spreading enough as well. He's got this little army off to the side, just waiting for him to step on creep. A lot of Banelings going off for Marauders, and here comes that army from the right. Should be able to sandwich this and crush it quite well.
Yeah. I don't think
So many
Woogie was
Banelings.
expecting that to show up.
Yeah.
It's a rather expansive Zerg force that just came at him. I mean, there's 46 more Lings in production right now, and Stark has all these mutas. I don't think he's lost. No, he hasn't lost any mutas so far in this game, so it's really nice for him. He's going to be able to, if he decides to do so, if he decides to stop making so many Banes, he can continue ramping up this muta production a little bit, or he can just go into Hive and then get into Ultras and use his gas that way. But trading decently there, and he cleared up a lot of those mines as well, which is a really big deal. Not letting those numbers get out of hand where you have to trade ridiculously well against the Terran army. Just constantly knocking down the mine force for the Terran player.
Yeah, he needs some more lings though, Stark. He's only got 6 lings at the moment. He can't really hold Woogie's army position in the slightest bit. Stark is taking this 5th gold base now as well. Really starting to get his macro up. He's up to 83 drones, quite a number. Scan does go down, sees that now as well. Just a couple scans, trying to pick up the location of the army. Stark, he's
Woogie
approaching
is-
him max out now as well.
Woogie is he's kind of stuck on three bases a little bit right now. He's trying to make a fourth command center, but it's gonna be really difficult for him to actually take that. He is loading up a drop to try and go towards this gold-based location and likely into the natural as well. But the overload spread here from Stark, he should realize it and be able to send his mutas to go defend that off. And it's only Marauders as well, so as soon as those land, Stark's gonna be able to take them out with his mutas here. He does see this Stark. So he knows it's on the way, and it keeps popping into his vision, so he knows it's a possibility. But with Marauders, I mean, Marauders have 2-2 as well. They should be able to knock down this hatchery maybe before Stark's able to get back and defend this, actually.
Yeah, I will get his hatchery. Nice little drop here from Woogie. Killing the gold base off. Just for the cost of some Marauders.
He's going to lose
Tries
this
to
meta back as
save it,
well.
yeah.
Well, he's going to be able to, he probably should be able to drop a few of those Marauders into the natural, which is, I guess, nice. He'll get a couple shots off in the extractor, which is a huge deal, obviously. But the mutas do clean that up, and actually, we have the Overlord Ventral Sax upgrade on the way. I don't know if that's going to be used, but if it does get used, I'm pretty excited for that to actually happen.
I'm hoping it gets used.
Right?
We saw a game on Friday that used Overlord drops, and he was very excited for it. It didn't work, but he was excited for it. So maybe entertaining us a little bit here, Stark. Some bailing drops, perhaps.
It's a possibility. There's a decent force rolling in. Looks like they're just going to go directly for the planetary itself. Yeah, he was trying to explode the planetary before it actually was created. He does set that CC on fire, which isn't a bit of an annoyance, and I think he may have gotten a few SCVs as well. No, he didn't actually get any SCVs, actually, so never mind.
Very cute Burrowed Roach underneath as well, just stopping it from being landed. This
It's
actually
going to keep
might
from
go
being
down.
repaired as well. And Woogie has to realize that he's not able to land. I'm sure he's trying to land. Well, it's not going to stop the repair. You can just
You can
actually repair it in the air, of
things.
course. Repair. But Stark is rolling in here with the rest of his army. They were split up all over the place. He's rolling in kind of ineffectively because he's rolling in so few units at a time right now. He's letting Woogie trade really, really well against this. Yeah, the creep is over here, so the reinforcements are going to be quick, but it's nothing but, wow, that's a lot of mutas. Holy crap, that's a lot of mutas now. He's got 26 mutalisks. There are 3 Thors actually out. A decent amount of Marines as well, so this mutas army can't sit here and actually defend this. He's going to have to figure out a different way to deal with those all of those Thors, unless he wants to start getting really harassment heavy on these mutas and use those to start taking out these turrets that are over at this natural base, and then start taking out a ton of the SCVs, but still kind of I'm not sure what Stark's plan was there, because right now he's not using any of these mutas, and he knows Thors are there, so he can't really engage into this at the moment.
Yeah, Ultralisk Cavern is on the way for Stark. He has gone up to Hive, getting Adrenal Glands, then 3-3. We'll probably use this Muta block to fight this little army on creep here. Mostly Marauders. Oh, good Thor shots there. Woogie has countered Stark pretty hard here. He does like to go heavy Baneling. He's got a lot of Marauders and Thors.
Rolling
good
in
splits.
once again. It's decent splits there, but I mean Thors are the most of what remains here, which is really all that Woogie needs, because that means these mutas can't actually engage this army. And there's still a ton of bio left over. We got 5 ultras on the way, but Stark is now evacuating his 4th base here, realizing that he's not going to be able to hold that if Woogie decides to push in. But Woogie's army is rather in the red and yellow here. He's only got a couple of medevacs with energy, actually. 2 of them are completely depleted. These Thors are at pretty low health as well, so if those get sniped out, that means the mutas could just go to town. Without heavy upgrades on the mutas, they only have +1 attack right now. He's got +2 attack on the way for them, but that's not going to be enough to really engage his army. And Woogie, he's pre-splitting his army. He's trading very well against what Stark has. As you said, he basically just hard counter him because Stark goes so heavy on those Banes. But with Ultras out now, it adds in a new little bit of a dynamic into these engagements.
A lot more lings here from Stark. I like that decision. Gonna be able to get a lot of kills on top of these Thors really quickly. And good engagement here. Mutas, so many mutas as well. Really hard for him to engage this. He's pushing
the
his army
mutas-
back.
The mutas alone should be able to clean this up. Woogie is losing pretty much everything. He's now dropped almost below 100 supply. He's actually 102 right now to the 200, the maxed out Zerg army. And Stark's going to just roll across the map. He's got 6 more Ultras on the way. And still, he's retained 25 mutas. He's only lost a single muta in this game, so he's really, really good control on all those mutas, keeping them alive. But as I say that, he's going to take a lot of damage on them from that Thor. Thor gets picked up and micro decently, but well, now he's losing a lot of his mutas, kind of realizing this game is probably a little bit over. He can afford to lose some of them. Doesn't want to lose nearly as many as he has, I suppose, but he should be decently okay with Marines actually here to come help shoo away the mutas. Looking like Woogie's going to hold for now, but the question is really just how long is he going to be able to hold?
Yeah, just a lot of Marines left over. He's got a few Marauders here, but Stark's got a lot of Ultralists out in the field now. He's got 4. A lot of links in production. He's going back to that heavier bailing style, realizing that he doesn't have all those Marauders and Thors that he had before. He can just really engage quite heavily with banelings. For Wiggins, all his good work, he hasn't really been able to pressure Stark's 4th or 5th base. It's just kind of been on the edge of the creep all the time. Hasn't really been able to get in the Zerg's face. It's really the advantage of this good creep spread. It's tough to just push onto the front door of Stark. Big fan.
Because of that, Stark still has 73 workers, and we're 27 minutes into this game. Woogie has been knocked down workers all every so often. He's only got 47, but he's got enough command centers with mules. It's decently okay, but he's just now finally being able to actually set up his 4th and 5th bases. He's actually got a few SCVs that are following a mule, I think, instead of actually mining for themselves. And still, the supply count has not been growing very quickly here for Woogie. He's been so low on minerals because of losing this 5th base and 4th base location a couple times. He hasn't been able to mine consistently, so his mineral count is so low he can't produce the units he wants to produce. He's got a couple Marines now that are actually seeing that Stark took he took his gold base. There's a drop coming as well, but all of these mutas are going to fly over and take care of that medevac relatively quickly, assuming they actually go the correct direction. And there's another drop into the 4th base location that's going to be picked up, rected to by the ground army of Stark, and that's going to be going towards, looks like the 3rd or maybe even the main base. Drop did come down at the gold base here. That gets cleaned up very quickly by all those mutas. Woogie trying to do what he can, but he's so little to actually be aggressive with. It's a little hard, and Stark even has a greater spire about to finish up.
Yeah, killing drones at this stage probably a bit of a blessing in disguise for Stark. He still has a lot of drones. Still got 70 drones at the moment. Probably start to sack some of those as well. Just really max out on quite a large army supply. Medevac trying to sneak into this gold base as well. He is spotted by Stark. Not reacted to for the moment.
Stark he's playing a little bit too safe. In an extent, he's letting Woogie increase the supply count. I mean, 3 minutes ago, Stark had a 60-70 supply lead. Now that's been reduced to 30, and now he just lost his gold base also. So he's got other mining bases, but in this gold base, the minerals were mostly gone, but that is a hatchery he lost. There's a ton of larvae over there actually as well that Stark will have to actually be able to use manually. But now Stark is rolling into the planetary, even using the Banes on the planetary itself. He's going to kill some workers as well. Get a decent amount of kills on those. All these ultras are just, well, they're not really going to die here. A lot of the army for Woogie is actually over at this base on the other side, the left side of the map for Stark. But another planetary is about to go down here. Woogie trying to repair, but the surround is definitely already there. Stark's going to be killing off a lot of these workers. He kills off all the workers there as well. 192 supply to 103. The drops have more or less all been cleaned up. Stark is actually losing all of his mutas at this point of the game. He's trying to remake some of them, but the Marines are just trading well, but here comes the rest of the mutas to clean this up. And, well, Woogie is knocked back to his 3rd base, and when we're sitting at 31 minutes, that's definitely not where our Terran player wants to be right now.
Yeah, he's pretty much mined out completely. He's not mining from his natural domain either, so once this is gone, that's it. And Stark is even starting to creep into those bases that we would like to take. The creep spread is actually quite unreal in this game. He's retaking this gold base now. Should get back mining up there relatively soon. Just waiting for Stark really just to kind of attack. He's playing quite defensive all game. Doesn't really have a high ling. He's got 1 ling on the map at the moment. A lot of ultras and bailings and mutas. So much gas. Invest in this army.
Yeah, losing those mutas kind of hurt Stark, but he's already remade a lot of them. Yeah. He's lost 16 so far total in this game, and he's back up to 28. So he didn't necessarily lose a ton, but he did lose a decent amount. He's going to roll in once again into the army here of Woogie. There's a lot of widow mines on the top left side of this, but ultras don't really care too much about widow mines. So let's continue rolling forward. The mutas as well going to be picking off all of those medevacs. He's got a kite well against this. Ultras are really slow off a creep, but that means another command center is going to go down here, and Woogie is going to tap out GG. And he will take game number one here. This best of three series to start us off. So 1-0 there for Stark. Map 2 is going to be on Deadwing. Just it was an interesting start to the game. I think Woogie had a decent amount of damage that he could have done, but he just wasn't quite able to get enough done, I suppose.
Yeah, he was doing well. He was splitting well. He was engaging well, but it just wasn't at the Zerg's fourth. It wasn't at Stark's fourth base, and that's where you want to be. That you want your attacks to be there. You don't want them to be just defending the whole time. If you can get on top of the fourth base and then take good trades, then you can start killing off workers. You can start doing drops and start getting production and all that kind of good stuff that the Terran wants to do. He was just defending for so long, and Stark was just in his face a lot longer, I think, which was really good.
Yeah, I had a momentary disconnect by Stark there, so took a couple more moments to actually get into the match itself. But we are loading into the lobby at least. The UK internet. No, actually, his client actually crashed entirely. That's interesting.
Hmm.
So rough go for him there, but no big deal. He is back. Curious if Ninkazi has shown up yet.
No idea. He probably doesn't know he's playing, to be honest.
Oh, I know he knows because we talked about it. So we talked specifically about this day and how he didn't really want to do it, but he was going to. So we'll
Alright.
see. That updating his stat really. Okay, so Stark he has a spreadsheet for like, kind of describing his games that he plays, every single game that he plays on ladder normally, but apparently he also does that for these sorts of games. So he was
Oh,
updating
was he
that.
being serious? I thought that was
No,
sarcasm.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't sarcasm. He literally
Right.
he's got a spreadsheet for like what happened in this game. Did I win? Did I lose? What competition did my opponent go? What competition did I go? Those sorts of things. So yeah,
There you go.
it's there. But we are loading in. The countdown is on. It is going to be on Deadwing here, game number 2. So it's going to have to Woogie to figure out something to do here. He had a good opener, I suppose. He just took him a little bit too long to attack, I think.
Mm.
With the follow-up, the Hellions that he brought, I think that could have been there a little bit earlier and probably done a lot more damage than it actually did. As it stands, I mean, Stark didn't really lose any workers beyond the Banshee harass, and he didn't lose his third hatchery either, which was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. It was like a lot of Zergs pretty much. Like they're delaying their third because they just keep losing it all the time against Terrans at the moment. And there was none of that real in your face, real fast Hellbats or real fast Banshees or real fast Stim like with a medevac drop. It was kind of a little bit passive. I mean the Banshee was good. Like, got a Queen, got a couple of drone kills, but wasn't that real fast aggression that a lot of Terrans seem to be doing at the moment. A little bit passive. Even like with his Marines when he opened with them. Didn't go off and try and kill Overlords or anything like that. Oh well. Game 2.
Yeah, we are in game 2, and spawning up here in the top right from All Inspiration in yellow, our Zerg player up 1-0. It is Stark.
And in the bottom right hand side, the blue Terran player from All Inspiration, Woogie. Good spawns for him. He'll be happy with these spawns, I think.
Yeah, not quite as difficult to deal with League Bling when you're able to reinforce a little bit quicker. It's not gonna. Woogie doesn't have to run all the way across these cross spawn locations if you wanted to actually reinforce. If you wanted to play that style, I'm not sure necessarily if Woogie plays mech ever. I haven't seen a lot of his play, so I don't really know. So I'll have to see if he does go for something like that. But he had a pretty solid grasp on the bio play. He survived for a really long time in that game that he really had lost a long time prior. So his bio composition skills are pretty high up there. And for Stark, these close positions means even though Deadwing is a kind of a poor map for it, he could try and go for Roach Hydra composition, but he's not usually one to go for that in ZBT, at least after the opening of the game. And we are going to see a hatch first here from Stark in this game, and once again, looking like actually a CC first here from Woogie, so that's awesome. Love seeing Command Center first. Always, I don't know why, I just love Command Center first.
Of all the TVZ I've casted so far in CSL, I would actually wager this is the first CC first. I think. There's been a lot of Reaper expands. Like this is the first and maybe the second out of maybe the 20 plus ZVTs I've casted. Because everyone's just going Reaper first at the moment. Or Marines first, like last game. Only banter. I like the
Friendly
CC first.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And he gets in and he sees the hatch first. He does see a gas coming down, so he's gonna have to prepare for that. Like that can be a quick speed, any sort of quick bust as well. I mean, there's a Zerg player on All Inspiration named Nexlix who, if you do anything economy focused when you're playing him as a Terran player, he's gonna punish you for it. It's not like something it's not something that Stark couldn't do if he wants to go for a really quick banding bust. I mean, playing against the CC first and only a single Rax follow up, and Stark scouts this immediately. It's not like Stark is going to see this 5 minutes into the game or 5 minutes later into the game. And be surprised that his opponent went CC first. He sees it immediately. He knows what's going on. He can actually go ahead and prepare in his mind exactly whatever counter he wants to, or he can just also just go for a quick third hatch if he wanted to do that. Let's wait and see what he decides to do with his gas, I suppose.
Yeah, if he pulls out a gas here, he knows he's probably going to want to go for that quick third. Just get speed, just for safety. Just have all the map control for quite a while. He might not even build many lings here. He might just build two just to push his SCV back. Get to the front door of Woogie. Take his third base behind it. Start getting out those queens for some creep spread. We shall see. We shall see. Roach.
There's a
Ooh.
Roach Warren already. Yeah, it's a pretty decent choice.
Yeah.
With the quick Roach Warren, which he actually, that SCV, it was in there for a while, and it saw Stark pull out a gas. It saw speed start. Guess what's canceled? Guess what's back in gas? Speed got canceled. Roaches are going to be the play here from Stark, and he's adding on a bunch of overlords as well. He got 3 overlords, so he's not making any more drones right now. I doubt he's just going to be injecting and making as many roaches as he possibly can here. It looks like he may even be just starting to spread some creep to try and make this reinforce a little bit quicker. Roach Worm finishing up. We do have 1 bunker right now, but there's only a single barracks. He only made 2 Marines from that barracks as well. And there's a 3rd command center on the way from Woogie. So Woogie thinks that he's playing something that he's not playing whatsoever. And Stark looked like Stark throwing out a 3rd hatchery of his own behind this. So 9 roaches. Once they amble across the map, that's going to be able to do a lot of damage. There's not really anything to help defend. Woogie's going to be able to wall off, which is nice, but with only 2 Marines and a bunker, he's going to lose a lot of SCVs if he actually gets over to repair that.
Yeah, no starport yet either. He's going Marauder, which is good. It's going to be helpful, but Stim is the choice where his gas wants to go. And Banshees can kind of clean this up eventually, but without Banshees, you're in for a bit of tough time to hold this. More roaches are the follow-up. We'll see if he does go lings or drones behind this, how much he does want to commit. He does have a 3rd base coming down. So
Woogie sees this now. He has 2 Hellions on the map that see the roaches, so he's going to be able to prepare for it, I suppose. But how do you prepare for something that's already there? He's sending SCVs to try and start repairing. He's got 1 Marauder here as well, which is nice, but SCVs are already starting to go down. There's only 2 actually here repairing, so Stark's going to try and just focus the bunker down before he gets repair off. But the rest of the SCVs do get pulled from line. Stark realizes he just needs to kill SCVs right now, and he's doing just that. He's killed 7 so far, up to 8. Perhaps at least 10. He's got 10 already as well. This bunker should hold, I suppose, but losing 10 workers is a pretty big deal, especially when behind us Stark is making absolutely nothing but drones. He's got speed on the way. 12 workers is a pretty good amount for this early attack. There was a lot of gas invested there for Stark, but he's got his own 3rd hatchery. He's got this group already started, and he's up 6 workers right now, and with the 3rd hatch finish, that's really nice. But Woogie, to give him his own right, he's got a 3rd command center finish, so he held it with a bare minimum, really. Yeah.
Yeah, held it. Didn't have bunkers, didn't have a starport. He's getting a tank now, which is nice. I don't think we'll see any more roaches, but like losing 12, I think that's the minimum Stark had to get. If he didn't get that many, I don't think it's worth it at all. Those roaches. He's really delayed link speed. He's delayed his lair. He's delayed his upgrades quite a lot. He's getting a Baneling nest now. Should be nice, but I'm a fan of Woogie's position. If you can have 3 CZs and hold any kind of push like that, I think you're in a good spot.
He's got a couple of Hellions rolling into the 3rd base here, so they know that the 3rd is there. He knows that his opponent did nothing but really drone behind this. There aren't any units, really any units out right now. There's a single Roach out at the moment here for Stark. He's going to clean up this last Hellion. Blocking it is nice. It wasn't really going to see anything other than seeing that the lair hadn't been started yet. This is going to be, well, if Woogie just tries to try and push across the map, he can, but his extra barracks are just finishing up right now. His starport is just now started as well. He's got a lot of money, even to the point where okay, he's going to throw down 3 more racks right now. It's almost to the point where you throw down an extra command center because your macro was so delayed for a while. Given that he was defending for as long as he did, he's going to double engineering bay as well. Woogie is just going to macro his heart out as long as he possibly can and hope that Stark isn't quite doing the same. But well, there's a lot of lings on the way right now. This third base isn't saturated, and a ton of lings in production. Is this just going to be a bust?
I think it is. Just yeah, Bailing started at 19. Bailing started.
Yeah.
So he's utilized the lack of map control that Wiggy doesn't have at the moment. He could have utilized that to take his fourth and create spread, but deciding he wants to just get up in the face. There's 2 tanks out. You can focus fire these Bailings out. There's a lot of Bailings, but tanks kill Bailings quite quickly. He's got a third tank on the way as well. And Stark, 12 drones behind this little attack here, so he's not fully committing, but investing a lot of gas.
Yeah,
Bailings
there's a
are
lot of
rolling
gas
in.
for this. They're actually just going for the supply depot itself. He's going to roll in here. There are 2 tanks, however, so the tanks are going to be able to do a lot of damage. There's just so many lings right now, though. Stark is looking pretty poised. If he's able to follow this up, and he doesn't have a lot on the way behind this, so he needs to actually kill a lot of workers here. If he doesn't kill basically every single worker here at the natural base, he's probably going to actually be behind. But it does look like he's got to be able to kill most, if not all, of these SCVs. Woogie realizing that's going to be the case. That's exactly what Stark wants to do. He's running his SCVs around. He's not going to let those die just sitting there mining. He's giving himself a little bit of time. He's got an extra tank up top. He's got some Marines stepping down as well. So Woogie should hold this, but he does lose in another 26 SCVs right now. The worker count's 65 to 27. It's a rather big differential here at 12.5 minutes, especially given that Stark is into lair already. He's got his 4th hatchery on the way and expect a Spire sometime soon.
Yeah. We does have the advantage of the 3cc, but I don't think 3cc can bring you back this far. I'm a big proponent of it though. If you have 3 orbital commands, you can come back from anything. The upgrades are in the lead, but the problem is he's not going to be able to get on the map for the longest amount of time. And by the time he is, the creep spread's going to be at his door. Sark's going to be on 5 bases. He's going to have 10 gas, and you can just kind of trade Ling Banling forever. So
Yeah. I mean,
I like
Woogie's
that
got
he's
a good amount of production, but he can't afford it right now. Losing all those SCVs, he's not even back into gas, so he's not going to be able to go to 2 extra upgrades for a long time. Which is, it's a problem. He wanted to keep these upgrades rolling, but as you see right now, he's got no gas to do it. He's started +2, and that also means that he's not making medevacs right now. He's only got a single medevac. Is that really true? Yeah, he's only got 1 medevac, and he's trying to make more and more units, but he can't make what he wants to make right now.
Yeah, he just can't afford it at the moment. I mean, meals are good, and they're going to temporarily boost your economy, but not enough. Fortunately, I like that Stark delayed his Spire as well, realizing that he did kill so much that medevac drops aren't coming anytime soon. So just gonna get into some upgrades, get some more Banelings to defend. He does like having quite a high Baneling count at home.
Yeah,
I
he
like to see
definitely
him taking
ascribes
against
to.
Kaiser's.
Yeah, he definitely ascribes to make a round of lings, make a ton of lings, and make everything that is a ling already on the map, make that into a baneling. So I do see that a lot. He's actually adding in a few extra roaches as well. I guess maybe because he, I don't know, knows that the tanks are there, or knows that his opponent's going to be on a high marine count. I'm not really sure. He's just adding actually 15 roaches, so it's not really a small amount of roaches there. But I guess once all the banelings die, if he just goes for another bust, he can just use the roaches to knock down SCVs a little bit better. If that's going to be his plan, I suppose, or if he wanted to go for these rocks that actually Woogie is knocking down for him. I'm not really sure, but he's got a lot of roaches here to help out this army. 1-1 did finish here for our Zerg player. Both 2-2 is on the way here for Woogie. He did get the armor upgrade started, but it's still only 3 medvacs on the field. He's not really able to continually make 2 at a time. He doesn't have the money for it still, especially with all of these barracks that he has. So Woogie, he's doing what he did in the first game. He's holding on, but holding on is not enough against a player like Stark.
Scan does come down. Still sees it as the lair, so no hive. Give him a little bit of confidence, I think, that Stark just hasn't just rushed for hive and rushed for ultralisks. Viking poking away at some overlords on the outside of the map. Still no mutalisks yet for Stark. He's a significant number of banelings though.
It's so silly. He plays with so many banes. That's 64 banes. He's got 9 more on the way. He's making more and more lanes. He's not using any gas for Munoz right now. He just thinks he can win with this push. There is a tank here. There's a couple tanks here, actually. And the units are spread pretty well for Woogie. He's got the spread for every Marine's going to take out at least 5 banes, which is not happening right now. And actually pushing down the ramp a little unnecessarily. He's going to continue to lose most of his Bioforce. The tanks are still alive. One of the last two does go down. The roaches here are going to be able to shoot from the low ground and kill this last tank. Well, he lost high ground vision, so he can't kill it. This tank is going to... He's got 20 kills already, which is nice, but Woogie did lose his natural command center. He did lose another 21 workers. Stark is doubling the worker count. He's doubling the supply count almost. And he's able to actually reproduce. He's actually even starting to mutas. Once again, he's going to clean up everything that Stark has, but he's got no economy left over right now. He's back down to 2 bases here at 18 minutes. Stark is on 4 actual mining bases. He's got a 5th base set up with a queen. He's got even another macro hatch that's being injected. There's so much production available right now for Stark.
Yeah, he's lacking in gas. That's the big key. He didn't take gas guys as 7, 8, 9, 10. So he can't really reinforce this attack. He's got a few banelings coming now, but it's only 17. There's 3 tanks here from Woogie. It's going to be really tough for Stark to engage into for the moment. Really needs that gas economy going back up again. Woogie's only down 20 army supply at the moment. So it's not a massive army lead for Stark. Not one that you'd expect him to have. All his lead is in economy. The longer this goes, though, the longer it's going to be for Stark. Because the creep spread is at the front door of Woogie. Lifts up a drop, which is spotted right away for Stark. Really good overlord coverage, actually. Attack. Moving down.
The Lings are going to roll in on top of the tanks. They're getting shredded pretty well by all these tanks. There's so many tanks right now. It's like a Wings of Liberty TVZ. Tanks are a lot still alive. The tank on the high ground has 37 kills. It's going to continue getting more. The Lings are not going to get up there. The wall is slammed shut once again. Tank is up to 50 kills. It's going to get a few more still even. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's a double drop into the 4th base here. Actually, where's that second medevac? I don't know where it went. There's one drop. Okay, it's over in the 5th location, but it's not going to be enough for Woogie. He's going to have to tap out. And Stark will take this series 2-0, and he will move on into the winner's match, and Woogie will fall down into the loser's match. So GG to Stark there. Not quick, but a relatively quick 2-0 there for him to start us off in Group C.